You are now listening to the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Named one of the coolest film festivals in the world by Movie Maker magazine, the Milwaukee Film Festival returns for its 18th year, bringing one of the Midwest's largest and most beloved cultural events back to the city. Presented by Associated Bank, this 2-week celebration of film and community runs April 16th through the 30th, featuring nearly 250 films from 40 countries, along with special events, visiting artists, and unforgettable shared experiences. Known for its worldwide class hospitality, the festival showcases bold new voices, acclaimed filmmakers, and powerful local stories that resonate far beyond Milwaukee. Join us at the historic Downer and Oriental theaters and be part of it all. Get your tickets today and learn more at mkefilm.org/MFF. That's mkefilm.org/MFF.
Warning! This movie podcast actually discusses movies. Be aware that it may discuss any of the following elements: endings, surprise twists, unexpected cameos, and all manner of spoilers. If this doesn't appeal to you, then why listen to a movie podcast? Without further ado, please enjoy our feature presentation, The Shameless Picture Show.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Shameless Picture Show. I am your host, Michael Viers, and today I'm being joined by the brilliant and endlessly charismatic Robyn Erhlich-Mai. Robyn is the Communications and Public Relations Coordinator at Milwaukee Film, where she plays a vital role in championing independent cinema and fostering a vibrant film community. She's also a proud alumni of UW Milwaukee, where she earned her BFA in film, and has been dedicating her life to art, storytelling, and everything in between since then. But while she's not always hanging out in the world of movies, she is spending time with her beloved dogs and her husband. And we love having Robyn on the show. This is now her third appearance on the show. Robyn, how you doing?
I'm great. I always forget how wonderful your intros are. My ego is boosted. Thank you so much.
So many people have told me that, and that makes me feel good.
You're good at it.
I can make them feel good by making myself feel good or something like that. I don't know.
Mutually beneficial, I think, for sure. But yeah, I'm great. I'm happy to be back. Thank you for having me for a third time.
Of course. And like I said, I wanted to get you back on the show anyways, but then when I realized what time of year it is, it's like, well, I feel like this just makes sense. Because you and Susan are my homies. So like usually if something needs to be talked about from Milwaukee Film, I get one of you two on. For the time being, I'd like to expand that a little bit.
Yes, we should for sure.
And I knew we do have Susan planned to come on later on this year, so that's exciting.
Yay.
But
she's busy, so that's a hard get.
It is like she texted me. I have to say, she texted me and she's like,
"That's great."
She's like, "Here's a list of films that I'd like to talk about. I can't tell you why, so I'm not going to spoil anything."
Yeah.
She's like, "Here's a list of films I'd like to talk about. Here's what my dates of availability are." I'm like, "Oh God, you made this so easy for me. Thank you."
No, I love that. Okay,
Yes.
great.
So that's exciting. But Milwaukee Film Festival's coming up. I'm really excited. This is my third year as press for the Milwaukee Film Festival, and that still blows my mind. I'm not gonna lie.
It's great. This is my third year working the Milwaukee Film Festival, so we've both been around in this certain capacity for the same amount of time.
So
it's great.
Tell me a little bit about the film. Like, tell me about how it's like evolved over the last couple years. What you've noticed and what you've kind of talk to me about your perspective of the film festival.
Yeah, I would say the biggest change between my first festival working to now is our Milwaukee Film's relationship to the Downer Theater has become more. It has just been expanded
Yeah.
because
You purchased it.
it originally was just one of a few venues,
Mm-hmm.
and then during or right before my first festival, we acquired it, or not acquired it, but took over operations of it and acquired like a lease. We were renting
Yeah.
it. And that was after the Downer had been closed, shut down for about 6 months. So my first festival was very much about like having the Downer be operational again. And then my second festival was when we really honed in on the fact that we've now been operating these two venues for a year, like having 5 screens for a year. And we wanted to really I guess, yeah, narrow in on the east side and make it more of like a walkable festival footprint. We were really leaning into the fact that you can walk between the two venues, or like park once and spend the whole day watching movies, supporting the local businesses on that walk between the two venues, kind of centering it around the east side. So that was kind of a new, fresh angle for that. And then this year, we just in February, at the very end of February, we have officially purchased the Downer. So now this is still kind of an extension of both of those previous years where we're operating the Downer and it's exciting, and we're narrowing in on the east side and that walkability and this like festival footprint. And we're, in a year where we've lost a lot of local businesses too, we're trying to partner with a lot of our surrounding businesses. So like our opening night is going to be like a neighborhood crawl where we're
Mm-hmm.
encouraging people to check out all of our surrounding businesses. There's like a list of businesses that we're partnering with for that, and they're offering discounts to festival goers. So it's really just like more east side fun with the and like a celebration of the fact that the Downer is here to stay because we bought it. I did not, but Milwaukee Film did, and
Robyn just
we
wrote a check.
yeah, yeah, I'm the new owner. That's what I'm here to talk about.
Surprise.
Surprise. No, but I'm very excited that Milwaukee Film owns the Downer, and so that is vital to our community because we didn't want to risk the Downer not being a theater anymore.
Yeah.
So,
And I also love this idea of walkability for the film festival. For
yes.
those of you listening who are not from Milwaukee, the Downer and the Oriental Theater are very close to each other. And my first year covering the film festival, Milwaukee Film was still partnering with some other local theaters. And I liked that because it was just, I loved seeing the symbiosis between all the local theaters, but it was kind of strange going to Bayview or sometimes Wauwatosa to see a movie, and just it felt like just a little bit more to keep track of. Like I loved seeing all the theaters working together. But I think this idea of just kind of having the two venues, which are so I want to say it's like what, maybe a 10-minute walk between the two
Yeah, I think
theaters.
it's less than 2 miles apart. Like
Yeah,
that's to have two historic cinema palaces. One's more of a palace than the other, but now that we own the Downer, we're working on it. There's going to be some renovations, but the having these two like historic venues so close together that it is like truly like less than a 10-minute walk
yeah.
is really special. You don't get that most cities.
No, and even just thinking about this in general, Milwaukee is very fortunate to have. Let's see, let me count real quick. 5 independently owned movie theaters.
Yes. And I
Because
love all of them. I
I
am
do
hitting all
too.
of these up.
Like we have the Oriental and the Downer.
Mhm.
But then I'm gonna give some love to some of the other theaters. We also
Please, the
have
Avalon,
the
the
Avalon, we have the
Times,
Times, we have the Rosebud,
Rosebud, yes.
and they're all independently owned.
It's
and
awesome.
and that's amazing. And I love that, unless it's the rare occasion where there's a movie playing and I either just missed it at the Oriental, for the most part I can go to any one of these theaters to see what's new and I don't have to go to the big megaplex. Then, don't get me wrong, support any theater that's in your area.
Oh yeah, I'm still going to a Marcus every now and again.
Yeah,
I can't lie to you
don't
about
get me wrong.
that.
Like when
I had to see Hoppers.
Yeah, when Godzilla Minus Zero comes out, I'll be going to the IMAX for, even though they have the
Oh
worst
yes,
chairs ever. That's how I'll be seeing it.
of course. No, and that's important. I think it's important to have a very well-rounded theatrical
Exactly.
experience and lots of options. And we want to make sure that theaters are alive and well everywhere. And that, I mean, because we can't show everything. We only have 5 screens between the Downer and the Oriental Theater. So there's a lot of theatrical opportunities that we end up missing out on, not on purpose, just because we don't have more than 5 screens that we can show it on. So I sometimes we're not showing something and I desperately need to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And we love it. And we love
Yeah,
I just love theater.
I do too. It is like it's my favorite, and like every theater you get a slightly different experience. Like you said, the Oriental is definitely the movie palace.
Yeah.
And when a friend of mine came up to visit from Florida, one thing he wanted to do is he wanted to see a movie at the Oriental. Because
Oh,
he's actually the editor of this podcast. Hi, Austin.
you saw Ann Lee, right? The
Yes, we
Testament of
did.
Ann
We
Lee?
saw the
Okay, yeah,
Testament
yeah.
of Anne Lee, and what was the new Park Chan-wook film?
Oh, No Other
No
Choice.
Other Choice. We saw both of those.
Wow, I still haven't seen No Other Choice.
It's really good. I
I
recommend
need
it.
to. I need to.
But he had never seen a theater, a movie in a theater like that before. But then I love the Downer. There's something scrappy
I
about the
know.
Downer.
It's the carpeted
The
walls.
carpeted walls. I remember I want to say it was I want to say it was the year before I became press for the Milwaukee Film Festival,
Okay.
where I was tweeting someone from Milwaukee Film trying to figure out the size of the screen in
Yes.
the South Cinema, and I've come to the conclusion that it's a 1.66 to 1 screen.
I'm the wrong person to ask, but I can fact check and
You
get back
could.
to you.
I would love that, just because I remember.
Okay, I'll
Actually,
ask.
no, it was the year. It was my first year as press, because I remember I was watching a documentary, and I was like, it has the weirdest shaped. Because like I'm really good at aspect ratios, and I was like, there's a very weird shape to this screen. Like, why are the black bars that specific size? What is this? So I was like, after the movie, like tweeting the person trying to figure out the size.
That's so funny.
And realistically, like they just went with the biggest screen they could fit in the space.
Yeah,
And I love that. And I love it. So
that's great. You must like our new logo then, with the different aspect ratios.
I do like the new logo. I want you guys to put that on a hat or on a fanny pack or something.
We're working on it.
'Cause
I want it too.
I need
We
it
have
on something.
stickers.
Stickers.
We're starting small.
Yes, anything. I need that logo on something because I'm
Yeah.
a big fan. So
I am too. I'm really thrilled with how it turns out, and I love the color scheme. It's very, like giving retro vibes. Like,
let me ask you this, if you don't mind me asking. So
yeah,
last
let's
year you
hear it.
guys had that really neat silent auction.
Yes,
Is there going to be a silent auction this year?
yes, there is.
Can you talk about anything? Because mostly there's something specifically I want to ask about for
Okay.
personal reasons that has nothing to do with my show. Actually, you
Oh,
probably thought that's where I was leading, but it's
I
not.
did. I thought this was
No.
a very smart, strategic way,
N-
because I mean, you can cut this out if it's not, but
I
I'm pretty sure that you are once again in the silent auction.
I am.
So you can bid on the chance to be where I am now as a guest on the
Yes.
Shameless Picture
You
Show.
definitely can. And that, if I was good at marketing myself, that's what I would have done. But
It worked
realistically,
though. You did.
what I
But no,
want to
what?
ask
Yeah, let's.
is, last year you guys had this, and I was gun shy and I didn't do it, but you had this option where you could bid on getting your name on a seat in one of the theaters. Are you doing that again? And is
I
it gonna?
actually have no idea.
Oh, because like funny enough, so I'm sure like everyone would want their name on the seat in like the Oriental. I want my name on one of the seats in the Downer.
Oh, I know that's currently, if it's happening at all, it's definitely not happening in the Downer yet, because I don't think that I think the Downer is there's going to be a lot of renovations. Like I'm sure, I have a feeling that I can't say definitively what is or isn't going to happen in the Downer, truly because I don't know. That's above my pay grade, but I know that the Oriental Theater, there is currently like a take a seat campaign going
Yeah.
on. So, but I'll pass it along that the interest is there, that you want to see, because the Downer's the oldest theater, the oldest
It
operating theater,
is.
so it's
And
even older than the Oriental.
I just have a connection to that old biddy. That's what I call the theater. I just like I have my favorite seat in the
Do
theater.
you? Is
Yes.
it which theater?
Well, it depends on which theater I'm in, but for the longest time I was always in the South Theater.
Okay.
I love the seat. Which one thing I love too, and I miss this about the Oriental. I like that the seats go down the middle, or not. Sorry, not the seats. The walkway goes down the middle
In the South one.
in the
Yeah.
South one, because that's how the Oriental used to be, and that
Oh yeah.
I always liked that.
Oh my gosh, I forgot.
Yeah. I like
Yeah.
the seat on.
Mhm.
It is right where the exit door is. I like being I like being on the end in that row, so I have some leg room,
Totally.
and I'm as centered as I can be in that theater. That's my favorite spot.
Okay. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
There's no wrong seat.
And then in pretty much every other theater, row F.
Oh, interesting. My husband and his a bunch of our friends, they keep having they keep doing on purpose. They're going to IMAX or the ultra screen or whatever, and they keep trying for row E. They say they want the row E experience, and I don't know what that's about, but it's become a thing where they're like, we're gonna have a row E experience tonight.
It probably has something to do with the way that the screen fits into your peripherals, because that's my dumb reason.
Okay, great. I love it. I'm always like, I'll sit wherever you tell me.
Yeah, whenever my wife, she buys tickets to something. At this point, she knows kind of where I want,
Yeah,
but she'll ask if my preferred seat is not. She'll be like, "What's your second choice?"
right. If not row F, what next? That's
Exactly.
great.
All right. So
Awesome.
before we move on to the topic
Yes.
tonight, I wanted to talk a little bit more, obviously, about the Milwaukee Film Festival. Let's talk about some things that you're excited about, or some things you want to shout out,
Yay.
films you want people to go and see.
Yes. Okay. So when you're listening to this, probably, unless you're listening to this far in the future, the Milwaukee Film Festival starts this Thursday night, April 16th, and runs through April 30th. I was so excited that you, Michael, decided to be a community partner on the film Hokum,
Yeah.
because that is tied for my number one that I'm most excited for at the festival this year.
I
Did
can't
you see
believe.
Oddity?
No, I did not.
Oh my gosh, you must.
Oddity.
It's great. Oddity's from the same director.
Okay.
So it's his film from Damien McCarthy, I think, or I think that's what it is. From 2 years ago. It's
Oh
another
no, I missed
Irish
this.
folk
I remember
horror.
this coming out though.
Yes, it was in theaters for a week and a half, not at our theaters, and I saw it at a Marcus, and there is some really freaky creature design in it, and
Ooh.
I
I'm
think you
looking it
should
up
see
right
it.
now as we're talking. Looks like it's on Shudder, so that's good.
Shout out, love them.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I honestly because when they gave me the option to be a community partner, I
Yeah.
sent them 2 films, thinking Hokum is gonna get taken. It's it's got Adam Scott, and of course this film is gonna get taken. I'm surprised no one took it by the time I
No,
emailed.
you had dibs.
But I remember, so I think it was Rachel who I was emailing,
Yeah,
and
love her.
she emailed because I said I said Hokum or Caroline. I was like, those are my 2 options, because I was confident Hokum was going to get taken. And then I was like, if I can't get that, I'd rather have I want the film with Samara Weaving and Kyle Gallner, because why
Of course.
not? And then she told me, she's like, oh, Susan was standing right next to me when that email came in, and she said, you have to take Hokum. So
Yes, I think that's the right move. I cannot wait for Hokum. I will rearrange my whole festival schedule so that I can see it.
I don't
That was
norm-
one.
I don't
Oh, go
normally
ahead.
like such late movies, but I have to.
But you did a late one last year too with the evil stepsister.
The Ugly
Well,
Stepsister,
Ugly
yeah. And then I had
Stepsister.
to run from the screening of How to Make Millions Before Grandmother Dies. I was
Oh,
still in tears to make it to the beginning of that screening.
yeah, what a vibe shift.
I know, it was wild.
Um, no, Hokum is great. This is, I think, the second film from this director. You should check out Oddity if you haven't. If anyone listening hasn't, it's so good. So that's why when I saw this director was in the lineup this year, I was like, oh, he's back, and Adam Scott is in it. I must be there. The other one I'm really excited about is we have Don Hertzfeldt's new short film, which won a jury award at Sundance in animation. It's in our Let's Get Animated program of shorts. It's called Paper Trail. Don Hertzfeldt is the two-time Oscar nominee who made the film It's Such a Beautiful Day, the series of short films World of Tomorrow. I actually have to my left on the wall behind me ish. I have two signed prints by him.
That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, I'm a really big fan of his. I actually, before I even knew if we got his new film or not, I messaged Jack Faria, our amazing shorts and genre queer programmer, and I was like, Jack, is there any chance that you can even just like ask to see Paper Trail, like to see it, and even if you're not able to get it at the festival? And he was like, Robyn, I already booked it. And I was like, oh, I'm so happy. So those are my two that are tied. I'm really excited, and I love our shorts programs at the festival. That's always like a fun way to see a wide variety in a short amount of time.
No, exactly. I think and you guys always plan some really interesting shorts. So this last year, I got to help out with in part of the screening committee,
Oh yeah.
and it was fun getting to see so many different short films that it's even just getting to see so many different interesting films in general, because I thought like there's a good chance a lot of these just might not get seen.
Yeah. It's cool. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
those are
I
some
get
those are, oh, sorry, continue, please.
No, you need to stop me because I will ramble. I will name every film in the
So
program
one of the
guide.
films that I'm looking forward to, just 'cause it's very hyper specific to my interest, is I'm
Mm.
really excited for We Are Fugazi from Washington D.C.
Mhm.
Big fan of that time period of music. Big fan of Fugazi. Big fan of their original their first band, Minor Threat, to the point that
Ooh.
I wrote a historical in my history class in high school. I wrote an essay about DC punk and straight edge music because I was so into them.
Okay, I love that. That's okay, I'm checking a spreadsheet to make sure that what I'm saying is about to be accurate, but the director of that film, Joe Gross, will be in attendance for at least one of the screenings in the middle of the festival. So that's
Really,
always fun too because it's I love when a film at a festival has a Q&A after.
I love that too. I was hoping that Jeff Krulik would also be there because he directed a shot on video 17-minute shot on video short film that I love called Heavy Metal Parking Lot.
Oh. Is that one of the co-directors of
Yes,
the
he's one of
film?
the co-directors of
Got
it.
it. Okay,
Um,
okay.
but you should check out Heavy Metal Parking Lot if
I
you've not
should.
seen
I've
it.
heard of it,
It's
and
only
I've never
20
seen it.
minutes. It's only 20 minutes. Easy.
Easy. I'll
But
make time.
I love that time period of music. So sometimes documentaries can be a hard pick for my wife, but I really want her to go to that one with me. Same thing
You know
with
what? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna
No.
say I'm also excited about The Last Critic as well.
Oh, yeah. No, that one looks really interesting, and I think we're having guests from that one come too. Don't quote me on that one, and I'm not gonna open the spreadsheet again. But, yeah, that one looks really interesting. The documentary that I'm most excited about, and there's a few, but and I know we're gonna move on to the film we're talking about for real today, but, it's called You Had to Be There. It's, about the 1972 stage production of Godspell in Toronto that like launched the careers of a bunch of different comedians like Martin Short, Gilda Radner, Eugene
This is
Levy.
such a you coded movie.
I know it's like giving Waiting for Guffman, which is the
Yes.
first film that
Yes.
that we talked about on the podcast. I know I'm there. I'm so excited to see it. The Yeah, and Victor Garber was one of the
Mm.
people in there, and I just like have a weird thing about Victor Garber. I really really like him. So I am excited. That's probably my top documentary that I'm most excited for at the festival.
And then the last thing I want to give a shout out to, just because I feel partially responsible for it existing,
Oh
is
yes,
A Bay of Blood is playing.
I'm so hyped.
Mario Bava's classic film, and it's being presented by Severin Films. For those of you out there listening who don't know who Severin Films are, they are a boutique Blu-ray label, Blu-ray 4Ks, and I think they even still do DVDs of some of the craziest exploitation, cult, sex, and sexploitation films you have ever seen. And I think my buddy Matt, the regional warrior, will be there shilling some DVDs.
Oh yeah,
It's
there's gonna be a
it's worth
booth.
coming out for, because like Matt, he comes to Milwaukee all the time. He usually does events over at X-Ray Arcade, and I was like, I know Susan likes this company, and I know they would love to get into it. So like I made the connection, and here we are. Like that's as much as I did, is I just got people connected with each other. But
Hey, that's more than enough. I think yeah, you're for sure like a huge part of why that's happening. And I'm so excited. I love Mario Bava and I've not seen this film.
yeah,
So
it's another late one, but I will skip anything else in that day and just take a nap and be there for it.
yeah, it starts at 11:59 p.m.
Yeah,
So
I got to get there early to get a barf bag.
I know. I've seen them. They're really cool.
I don't, and it doesn't say how many barf bags they're giving
There
out.
were
There's
500, but I think a couple less because we used some for an episode of Popped Ones. But but they're really cool. I never thought I'd be like, yeah, you got to get your hands on one of these barf bags, but
I got to get my hands on one of those barf bags.
oh yeah. Okay. No, I think you will. We'll talk.
Perfect. If that, or I'll take a guest spot on Popped Ones, whichever.
For sure. We'll talk.
And then the very last thing, and then we're gonna move on to the movies. I just want to
Okay.
give a shout out to a good friend of mine who's been on this show twice. Drew Britton's film Fly Trapper is also playing.
I love him.
Drew is great. He has been on this show. He came on one time to talk about slow burn horror movies.
Ooh.
It was a little different because we came in with a list of 5 each, and just kind of talked about what we love so much about slow burn horror films. And then he also came on to talk about Mikey and Nikki.
Oh, cool. Okay, love.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drew was the programmer at the UW Union Cinema when I was working concessions there. It was like my first semester of college ever, or like my second semester. And he also was I don't know if he was a teacher or must have been a grad student, but he was teaching some classes, and one of them, my now husband, was in his class, and like it was very early in mine and my husband's relationship, so Drew like knew both of us, and he was like giving us life advice. And then I straight up told Drew, I was like, I want your job when you're done with grad school and you aren't the programmer anymore. And he was like, well, only grad students can do this job. Like, I think that's like a whole thing where the programming position is grad students only. And I was like, I don't care, I want it. And he was very nice and put in a good word for me, and that's how I ended up being the marketing coordinator at the Union Cinema.
That's
because
amazing.
that was as close. I was in the same office as the programmer. So
That's amazing.
shout out Drew. I'm also so hyped to see Fly Trapper, and it has its own soundtrack. Do you know about this?
I did not.
It's like an entirely original soundtrack, and they're releasing it on streaming services. I don't want to announce things that like if it's changed, so I won't give an actual date, but it's got its own original soundtrack along with the film, and I think that's so awesome.
Oh, that is so cool. Like, and knowing what I know about Drew, that is something that he is really stoked for, because Drew is very much like me, where he's a collector at heart. And actually, while we're sitting here talking, I'm gonna message him and just let him know we're giving him some love.
Oh, please. I need to respond to an email from him, so maybe I'll do that tomorrow finally.
Perfect. I'm just gonna keep it up so I remember to do it later on. But pretty much everyone should come out to the Milwaukee Film Festival. There's some really great stuff playing this year. There's great stuff playing every year, but like the last thing I'll say is the film festival is, because me and Amanda, when we go like every day.
I see you all the time there.
It can be exhausting. Like, people are just like, oh, you're going to watch movies. It's not, because since we're podcasting about it, Amanda's writing short little letterbox reviews. I review everything I watch, period. Plus I try to shoot videos. Like, I have to think about this stuff and just really engage with it. And it's not like you're just going to see a fun, lighthearted movie every single time. Sometimes you have tonal whiplashes and
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Sitting.
It is a lot of sitting, and it's you also kind of lose track of time because you're just in a dark room all the time, and your diet consists of popcorn.
Yes. Nutritional yeast.
Yeah, that's how I stay fit, is nutritional yeast.
Of course.
But every time, whenever the film festival comes up and the booklet comes out, and I get excited all over again. Because, like, every year, me and Amanda's like, okay, next year we can't go so hard. And then we'll start making a list. And, like, oh, there's no way we can't not go hard this year.
It's hard. My coworker, Kristen, in our, like, all-staff meeting that we have before the festival every year, needs to remind us, like, it is a marathon, not a sprint. Like, pace yourself, because it is exhausting, and it's really easy to, like, front load your festival. And then by the time you're, like, in the second week, you're like, I literally can't see another popcorn kernel or I will explode. So pace yourself, but come out to all the films. So find the dichotomy between those, I guess.
Come find me. If I have stickers on hand, I'll give out some stickers.
Do you have Shameless Picture Show stickers?
I did at one point. I got to see if I still have some.
Oh my God, I want one.
All right. I'm gonna have to just order some before the film festival, because Amanda we got some nice sparkly ones. So I will get you a sticker, and I think I might even have a button that I can give you as well.
Oh my God. Okay, great.
Perfect. You ready to talk about a movie?
I would love to.
All right. So normally on this show, I go through and I actually spend like an hour of my day writing a really thought out description of the film. I didn't do it this time. So what I'm going to do is the movie we're talking about today is Harold and Maude. I'm going to instead read the short but sweet little description that the Criterion Collection has on their website. So, and we'll just go from there. With the idiosyncratic American fable Harold and Maude, countercultural filmmaker Hal Ashby fashioned what would become the cult classic of its era. Working from a script by Colin Higgins, Ashby tells the story of the emotional and romantic bond between a death-obsessed young man, played by Bud Cort, from a wealthy family, and a devil-may-care bohemian octogenarian, played by Ruth Gordon. Equal parts gallows humor and romantic innocence, Harold and Maude dissolves the line between darkness and light, along with the ones that separate people by class, gender, and age, and it features an indelible performances and a remarkable soundtrack by Cat Stevens. This is Harold and Maude.
Tell me, Harold, what do you do for fun? What activity gives you a different sense of enjoyment from the others? What do you find fulfilling? What gives you that special satisfaction?
Harold, please.
How many of these suicides have you performed?
15.
What is your name?
Harold Chasen.
I'm Dame Marjorie Chardin, but you may call me Maude. I think we're going to be great friends.
Your mother tells me, Harold, that she's arranging several dates for you with some young ladies. How do you feel about that?
Tell me about yourself. What do you do when you aren't visiting funerals?
Yes, there is definitely a certain attraction.
I like to watch things grow and bloom and fade and die and change into something else. Joe, take a joke. hurt even.
I haven't lived. I've died if you died.
L-I-V-E, live.
I like you more.
I like you without.
All right. So when I asked you if you wanted to come back on again, this is like one of the first movies you mentioned.
Yeah, it's been my favorite movie of all time since I was like in 4th grade, which is maybe too young.
You
to
saw
have
this
seen
in
it.
4th grade?
Yeah, because it's also my dad's favorite movie.
Okay, so you
he-
had someone introduce it. You didn't just stumble
it was
upon
handed down to me. Yes. No, I definitely did not stumble upon it. I think my dad stumbled upon it. He saw it at a midnight screening when he was in college.
This is a weird midnight movie.
Yes, and it didn't do well upon its release in 1971. It wasn't like a panned movie by any means, but it definitely didn't it's hard to market. I mean, like the trailer is really strange. I've seen it several times because it's like how much to give away. It's also like it's not like an easy story to um to sell people on. I mean, we can get into the like age gap discourse about the the film, but it's just like a weird sell. So I understand why people were like skipping it when it came out originally, but I guess yeah, like in the 80s it became kind of something of like a midnight film, not like to the level of like Rocky Horror, but just like a weird cult classic that emerged.
I still can't get over it being a midnight film, only just because like when I think of midnight films, I'm thinking like Mario Bava's A Bay of Blood, El
Mhm.
Topo, Pink Flamingos, not Harold. And like before I even saw Harold and Maude, I was not thinking Harold and Maude as a midnight film, even with
Yeah.
the clear, midnight like elements. It plays
Mhm.
out more like Juno than it does like
Yeah,
El
it's
Topo.
quirky.
Yeah.
It's kooky. It's and I almost like I feel like the soundtrack plays a good part of like why it's garnered like this cult following too and became like a midnight movie for a little bit. It's definitely not a midnight movie anymore, I don't think. I mean, it's still a huge cult classic and there's like people who ride hard for Harold and Maude like I do, and but also yeah, it's a weird pick. I think I'd fall asleep because the music is a little like, I mean, I love Cat Stevens and
me
I do love
too.
the soundtrack, but
Every time I hear
it
his
could
voice,
lull me to sleep.
every time I hear his voice, I just want to start crying.
Oh, you reading the description a little bit ago, I almost started crying just from the back of the Criterion box. I
Yeah.
love this movie. So yeah, it's very near and dear to my heart. So I was really excited when you said you'd never seen it before.
Yeah, no, this has been one of those movies, and this is a perfect shameless movie, where it's been a movie that I've been very aware of for a long time, partially because it was on the Criterion Collection. Sadly, that Criterion disc is out of print. So
Is it?
yeah, so
I have it.
well, you could probably flip it one day and make some money off of it, but I wouldn't.
can't.
I wouldn't.
I'm not going to.
But not only is the Criterion out of print, because like, this happened also with like Nashville and a couple other films. They lost a couple around the same time, and then Paramount Pictures, under their Paramount Presents label, re-released them, and those are out of print as well. So I don't know how
Damn.
I watched a very much less than DVD that I got from the library, and I was still
Oh my
enamored by
gosh.
it.
I should have lent you my Blu-ray.
It's okay. It's okay. I was still able to enjoy it, and it makes me want to rewatch it. So, tell me a little bit about your dad introducing this movie to you.
Yeah.
Like, how did
shout out-
he sell this to fourth
I
grade
don't remember,
Robyn?
to be honest. I know he just brought this up at my wedding, like in my wedding speech, because to be honest, this movie also, the day I met my husband Will, we all were just talking about what our favorite movies were, and I was like, my favorite movie is Harold and Maude, and he was like, I love that movie, and then a bunch of people were like, I've never seen it, and we were all like, let's watch it right now. So like literally the day we met, we watched it. So
Brilliant.
yeah, it was great, but I don't remember how my dad, like, I think I just asked him one day, like, what's your favorite movie? And he was like, Harold and Maude, and I was like, can I watch it? And he was like, I guess. Um because he had like a rule growing up where it was like you can read and watch whatever you want, just like don't make it weird, basically. Like
Don't
ask
make
any
it
weird
weird.
questions. Yeah, so like I was definitely watching and reading things that were probably outside of, I mean, like fully I wasn't understanding them, because my favorite book is The Time Traveler's Wife, not the movie, the book. I
I've-
cannot stress that enough.
I've never seen the movie, so
Don't.
okay, fair enough.
But you should read the book. But I read the book when I was around, like probably in middle school or whatever, and I definitely did not get a lot of it. And I reread it like once a year, and I feel like every time I read it, I'm like, oh, I never got that. Like I find new things that as I get older and like grow with it, I'm like, oh, I get this now. And that happens to me with Harold and Maude too, because I it had been a minute since I rewatched it. I rewatched it um like the week that Bud Cort passed away, like a month
'cause-
ago.
Yeah, that was very recent.
Very recent, and he was left out of the in memoriam at the Oscars, and I'm a little mad.
I don't blame you.
But yeah, he that was upsetting. I love Bud Cort, and so I was like, well, if there was ever a time to rewatch Harold and Maude, so it's timely to talk about it on the podcast too. But yeah, I genuinely think it was just like, I think I asked if I could watch it, and he was like, sure. And that's the whole story.
Well, it's also just a quirky movie for. Grant, I don't know what your parents are like, but like my dad, like his favorite movie is probably something with like John Wayne.
Okay, yes.
So it's like when I think of like a dad's favorite movie, I think of like an old Western or something.
Sure. And my dad loves those too. Don't get me wrong. My dad loves most shit. He's really jealous that he can't be at the Severin booth. He was like he loves Severin. So
Your dad loves Severin. I want to meet
Yeah.
your dad.
you will at some point. I keep telling him to come in. I'm like, a Bay of Blood, and he's like, I know, but because he lives in Minnesota, which isn't even that far. We'll
No,
get there. But
no.
he'll come in at some point. But yeah,
We'll get him
I'm
on the
gonna
show.
yeah, he would pick something weird. But yeah, so yeah, he just likes movies, which makes sense because then that's how I turned out. But yeah, it's just I wish I remembered more of my first viewing. I feel like I remember the concept of the first time I watched it. Like I remember like it must have moved me and like blown my mind a little bit, but I just remember I've seen it so many times since then.
Mhm. So for me, I knew very little about this movie. So
Mm,
a couple little fun factoids about me, since the whole point of this show is being open and honest about things. I had seen I think up until this point, I had only seen one Hal Ashby film.
which one?
I saw Being There.
It's so good.
I saw it in high school, and I don't feel like I fully appreciated it. One of my art teachers at the time showed it to us.
Yeah.
So I saw that, and then he was a filmmaker that I've been aware of because like I know of Shampoo, I know of The Last Detail.
I haven't seen that one. That's my big Hal Ashby blind spot.
On top of that, too, I also used to get him mixed up with Robert Altman.
Well, Bud Cort shows up in a few different Robert Altman films too.
Yeah, so like I used to just get them mixed up. So like I would always assume that I had seen some of his films because even though I haven't seen a lot of Altman, I'd seen some of his films.
Mhm.
So when you chose this, I was really excited because the only thing I really knew about this movie was I knew that Bud Cort plays I thought he played like an actual child because every time I saw him, he looks
He looks
12 years
12.
old.
Yeah.
I thought he was like an actual child who was obsessed with death, and then this old lady he meets like becomes his best friend and
Yes.
potentially lover. I didn't really know how that aspect of it worked. Turns out just Bud Cort just looks 12. He's 23 when he made this movie, and he's
Yeah, and I think
playing a
the character
19-year-old.
Okay, yeah.
So right around that age. So it's like it was not nearly as strange as I thought it was, because it's like, oh no, he's not 12 like I assumed.
No, it's legal.
Yes.
It's
I just
legal.
didn't. That was all I knew about it, and then I just knew the Cat Stevens song. So it's funny enough. Like I didn't know much about this movie, but I was watching. I was like, oh, this is simultaneously the exact same movie I expected it to be, and also not.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's a movie about this guy who's obsessed with death, and this badass old woman gets him, living life, and there's a bunch of Cat Stevens montages, and that is the movie.
Yeah, totally.
It's just lacking a
No,
lot
that
of
totally
subtlety.
is.
It's just lacking some subtlety. That
Yeah.
description.
There's more, but it's at its core, that's what it is for sure. And Ruth Gordon is so good in it. I
Oh
love
my
her
god! So
so
Ruth
much.
Gordon is one of those actors that I know so well because of Rosemary's Baby.
Totally. I think she won an Oscar for Rosemary's
She
Baby.
did, to the
Yeah.
point where when I saw her in this movie, I just instantly didn't trust her.
Oh, for sure. I know. And I saw this first. So when I finally saw Rosemary's Baby, I was like, why wouldn't I trust her? That's Maude.
Exactly. Ooh, fun fact about Ruth Gordon: she does have a connection. It's not directly connected with you, but she has a connection with you.
A connection with me?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
She
What's her birthday? No,
she
it's not that.
she starred in a movie in 1940 called Dr. Ehrlich's Magic Bullet.
Are you kidding me?
I swear.
I need to look this up on Letterboxd. Okay, sounds great. I'm there. I
So
will be
it's not a
watching.
direct connection, but
No,
it's got
that's
your name.
that's a direct connection. I'll take it. Wait, that's so weird.
Yeah. I found that and was like, I
You know
I
who's
gotta
the
save
only
that.
person I follow who's logged this? My dad.
Oh, your dad's on Letterboxd. Your dad is so cool.
Yeah, I'll give you his username later.
He's gonna be like, who's this random person that just followed me?
I'll tell him to follow you back. Yeah, he's active on Letterboxd. Okay, adding to my watch list. This sounds amazing. Oh
So
my gosh.
this is your favorite movie, and when did you? Because I feel like as cinephiles we go through trends of picking a favorite movie. Like, for example, my favorite movie is John Carpenter's Halloween, and it has been for a very long time. And part of that is because for me, have I seen better movies since then? Absolutely. There are movies that I've probably watched, I don't want to say more, but that I could probably pick over it, yes. But it had such a profound effect on me. And it was the reason I wanted to go and study film. That no matter what happens, no matter how many times I see that movie, it's always going to be my favorite movie. When did you decide that Harold and Maude was your favorite movie?
I don't know if I know when I decided it, but it's definitely, I have that same experience where it's so foundational for me that it's I feel like it's in my veins. I don't think I would the version of me that you're talking to right now would exist without Harold and Maude.
This is like your Rosetta Stone then.
Yeah, kind of. Which is, again, it's it's a weird film for a I don't know, 15-year-old girl to be going around and being like, you haven't seen Harold and Maude at my school, and no one had seen it, and people were like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. But I don't know, but I guess I definitely knew it was my favorite by the time I was in high school. I was adamant. I had a poster that one of my best friends still to this day gave me. It was a foundational text for me for sure. And it is inherent to Robyn and my Robynness, but
that makes sense. I feel like I understand. After just a couple films that we've watched together, I just feel like I have a better understanding of who you are now. The 1-2 punch of Waiting for Guffman and Harold and Maude is this makes sense. I also feel like I can now easily recommend things to Robyn because I know what's foundational to her.
Because I think those two films also are similar together, or they have similarities in just their sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
like, obviously, Harold and Maude is more of a dark sense of humor at times because
Just a
for
little.
those who yeah, a little bit. Harold is like, like performing his own death multiple times. So that's definitely not happening in Waiting for Guffman, but I like to believe that Corky St. Clair, the director in Waiting for Guffman, he would like Harold and Maude. I bet he's seen it many times
Oh,
too.
I have a feeling Corky St. Clair tried to do
A musical.
like a musical version of Harold and Maude.
Wait, you know what? There is a stage play. I just found this out. The guy who wrote it,
What?
something Collins. I was literally at Half Price Books this weekend, and in their like collectibles section, there was a $100 first edition of a Harold and Maude book. And I couldn't believe my eyes because I was like, there's a book? It's not based on a book, but it was the stage play that he
Wow.
made. The writer who wrote the screenplay made a stage play after the film was released to not a great like success. He made it a stage play and I did not buy it because
Oh,
it was too much, but I did take a picture of it.
and the gentleman who wrote this, Colin Higgins,
Yes.
he has a very interesting career.
Mhm.
Um, Made two movies that I absolutely love.
I've not seen either. I know what you're going to say and I haven't seen
Okay,
either of
which
these.
two? Which two do I love?
It's 9 to 5 and the horror house one.
Yes. 9
What
to
is it called?
5 and the best little whorehouse in Texas.
Yeah, I know, because those are both like those are on my shame list.
We'll have to
Where
get you back on again. Well, we can't do
okay.
best little whorehouse because we've done it on the show already, but we can do 9 to 5.
Hey, I'm down. I'll save it. I'll save it for next time.
Ah, perfect. But yeah, no, this is such an interesting assortment of talent because, like you said, you have Colin Higgins, who it's hard for you to say because you've only seen out of his work Harold and Maude,
Yeah.
but has a very interesting. He's got a very specific sense of humor.
hmm
You can even see that in Foul Play, which is a movie that he did with Chevy Chase. Never saw Silver Streak, but I'm familiar with it. So it's like he's got a very specific sense of humor. And then while I'm no Hal Ashby, scholar, he's another filmmaker that I'm familiar with
hmm
his work, and you can see a lot of him in other filmmakers. Like you can see a lot of him in Paul Thomas Anderson. You can see a lot of him in why can't I think of the other filmmaker who did Election?
Alexander Payne.
Yes, you can see a lot of him in Alexander Payne. But it's also, even though this movie came out in 1972, it feels like a very 1960s movie.
Mm-hmm.
In
Yeah.
terms of not only its characterizations, but its politics as well. It feels very much like I wouldn't be surprised if Higgins wrote this film as in the 60s as a commentary about it.
It was his college thesis, I know. So
Really?
yes. And then he like adapted his college thesis into the screenplay and then he was going to direct it. And I believe Paramount was like, he made like a test version of like a scene or something from it and Paramount did not like it. So then they had Hal Ashby direct it, but what is his name? Colin Higgins?
Colin Higgins.
I don't know why I can't remember it. Colin Higgins worked closely with Hal Ashby while they were making it and they were like both happy with what they ended up putting out there.
No,
But
that makes complete sense.
I read all of this weekend because I was like shocked to see this book. This like it's felt very serendipitous knowing that we were going to be recording this, that I came across for the first time the Harold and Maude book. But I need to explore more of Colin Higgins' work and I keep meaning to and then I keep forgetting because there's a lot of movies to see.
Honestly, that's the biggest thing. There's so much to see. There's only so much time in the day. So that's why I think it's important to make connections with what you're watching while you're watching it. I sometimes feel like, and I've noticed this far more since Letterboxd became popular, I feel like sometimes people see watching movies as a competition, how many they can get through. and I feel like sometimes we need to sit with stuff for a little bit longer. So I know that you love Bud Court,
Yeah.
and the character of Harold, I think, is a very fascinating character.
Yeah.
And once again, seeing the influence of this movie, I was instantly thinking of a film like Ginger Snaps,
Love.
where the two characters are recreating horrific death sequences and taking photos of it. But Harold is doing it for attention.
Yeah, there's that great scene where the therapist is like, "Are you doing this for your mother's benefit?" And Harold is like, "I wouldn't say benefit." Because he is doing it to to for his mother's attention, or it's like a cry for help. I mean, he's driving a hearse everywhere, which does rock. I think that's pretty
Oh, and
cool.
the fact that he turns the sports car into a hearse is really like, wow, you're just a really crafty little guy, aren't you?
I know. I love him. Yeah, I think I grew up it's interesting how this happens with like different content and media that I grow up consuming and like continue to consume over and over again as I get older. But I do think watching this growing up as like a depressed teen, I was very much more Harold leaning. And then like as I'm now more of an adult, I'm starting to be more Maude leaning. And like obviously like the ideal situation is like a combination of the two, and maybe someday I'll get there. But like um yeah, I think that it's just been an interesting film to grow with because Harold is he has like a dark nature to him, but he does learn to like love life while I don't know if because it is like interesting, is he fearing death? Does he fear death? Is he um like just fascinated by it? And like what part of death is he fascinated by? There's a lot. It's a dense text.
No, it is, and it's even just the way that the character opens up throughout the film. Like I believe I'm correct in this. I clocked it that I don't think you even really hear him speak until like the 25-minute mark in the film.
Mm.
Like he might say like a word or something, but like he's usually like everyone else is talking at him.
His
Or
mother,
yeah.
mainly. Yeah.
And he's expressing himself through these intricate acts, which are just fairly impressive. Like the fact that they're very like he's got so much ingenuity.
We need to get him on some sort of tech crew for a stage production of something. The
Yes.
fact that he's like, how much prop blood does this boy have?
And just has it on him at all times.
Yeah.
And he's a showman. He's a showman. Like not even just for his mother's non-benefit.
Yeah.
But when the first woman that his mother brings over for a date, and like he waves at the woman through the window, and he's wearing like the white garbs, and he goes essentially and sets himself on fire, and then walks into the room.
It's like David Blaine.
Yeah, and then like she's losing her mind, and he's just like, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you." Like he's ready to just be normal. Like it's almost like he had to get this out of his system.
Yeah.
Like
It's
like a
performance
compulsive.
art.
Yeah, it's like a compulsive thing that he just had to do.
Yeah.
And
like no one gets it except Maude. And Maude is
yeah.
like and it's interesting too because so Harold and Maude meet because they run into each other at multiple funerals for people that neither of them know. And
very Fight Club coded.
Honestly, yes.
Or I guess Fight Club is Harold and Maude
Harold
coded.
and Maude coded, yes. Yeah. And then like Harold is going to all these funerals out of like a like reverence and respect for death, and like almost fascination. Like it's like an anthropological thing for him, and like I guess it's kind of anthropological for Maude too, but she's going out of reverence and respect for life, and like wanting to celebrate life and like not fear death because she knows she's approaching it. whether that's on her own terms or not. She's about to turn 80 and she thinks that's a good time to go. And so it's like there's a lot. Yeah.
No, and it's just also funny too because Harold is this character who has no problem putting on these elaborate spectacles in front of people, not even just his mother, but really anyone who will watch. But then the way that he clams up when Maude just waves at him at a funeral, he's like mortified.
Yeah, because he's seen not putting on a performance, like he's seen just as a person for a second, and he is like, I'm not used to being seen this way. Usually I have to be doing something, performing in some way, or like deflecting in some way. So it's I think it's scary for him to be seen suddenly in like a real way.
Yeah. And then just the way that, like I said, his character grows. Like I love just seeing him open up more. And I love seeing him truly be happy.
Yeah.
In
He
a way that's-
embraces life. He learns an instrument.
Mm-hmm.
He
And
blows bubbles.
he blows bubbles. But I also love that he doesn't stop being himself. Like I
For
said,
sure.
he turns that sports car into a hearse because he likes the hearse.
Yeah, he wasn't lying about who he was in the beginning. Like he is this like dark, brooding, perhaps old soul, like that and like his feelings on death necessarily like haven't changed. It's his feelings on life that have. And so he's willing to embrace those things more, and it's a beautiful thing. It's like a beautiful transformation to witness.
Yeah, and we also learn a little bit about Maude's past as the movie goes on, and they don't dwell on things very much. Like it's just very smart filmmaking.
Yeah.
Like when Harold discovers the number on Maude's forearm, kind of gives you some context for why life matters so much to her.
Yeah.
Because she almost didn't have one.
Yes. And like honestly, why like on this most recent viewing, like it occurred to me that like why it's so powerful for her to be choosing when her life comes to an
Yeah.
end, because like it it almost was not her choice, and like or like I don't know, it was something that was taken from a lot of her family and as like a Holocaust survivor. And so it's interesting, which is also just like like moving and personal on like a level where like I'm Jewish and a lot of my family is or was Holocaust survivors, so it's like that's like a whole other layer to it. And but I think like in general in life outside of Harold and Maude, or even in it, it's just like so easy to get consumed by grief or like regret in of things. And so
Mhm.
like Maude is teaching a lesson to the viewer and to Harold of like letting go, and obviously like horrible, horrific things occurred that she can't change, and that she probably I mean clearly like I'm sure she wished that those things didn't happen, but
Mhm.
like you can't just
She's not letting it define who she is.
yes. And she wants to celebrate the fact that she's still here, and that there are people still here, and that life is worth celebrating. So yeah.
I also just love that she seems the type to, like you said, not only go out on her terms, but go out while she still has the choice, as opposed
Yeah.
to, well, I can't live anymore, so then I'm going to end it. But instead, she's like, this is just a good time. I've done everything I needed to do. And I also love, too, that she's so confident in this choice that even though, and we can kind of start talking about this topic more, even though that she starts a romance with Harold, she never had that, well, I guess this is my thing worth living for. She's like, no, this is the decision that I made. And she also she took the pills before Harold got there because she knew that Harold would try to not get her to not do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And like she knew, yeah. Oh, there's so much I could and whatever to say, but like, yeah, it's it's hard watching Harold then go through that. He really, you watch Harold go through in such a short span of time, like the a full range of like human emotion, because he starts very cold and unfeeling and then
Well, even look at,
like,
like he's so pale in the beginning of the film too,
yeah,
to the point that I
yeah,
thought he was dead already.
well, he was kinda, she brought him to life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really there's so much. I could literally talk about this film for like weeks straight, because there's like truly no end to it, which is so funny because it's like really a short movie.
Yeah, it's like 90 minutes, give or take,
Yeah, it packs a punch.
and a lot of it is montage.
Yeah,
And
to Cat Stevens.
it's not even like a negative thing. Like the music is that good.
Yeah, I have the CD on display behind me somewhere. I don't know. It's on a shelf somewhere behind me. But yeah, the soundtrack is so good. I love a movie with an original soundtrack, like Fly Trapper by Drew Britton, playing at the Milwaukee Film Festival. But
Very nice.
yeah, no, but like another favorite film of mine is the Curious George movie from like 2004 or 5.
I've actually surprisingly never seen that movie.
Oh my god. It is so good, and the entire soundtrack is by Jack
Funny enough,
Johnson.
I knew that. Like I remember that soundtrack.
It's so good. That is a beautiful film. Um and like beautifully animated, and like I cry and I love that monkey. And there were some other ones too recently that I was thinking of, but I don't know. I love a film with an original soundtrack by one artist. Oh, Wuthering Heights. That's not the one I was gonna say, but like Charlie XCX original soundtrack, Wuthering Heights. There's another example.
Yeah, or going back to the Curious George, like I love that he covered one of my favorite White Stripes songs on that soundtrack.
I know.
But like I'm very much with you. Like I love an original soundtrack. I love when it was always my goal, if I ever got to make anything, that I would have an original soundtrack. And the closest I got to it was two of my films. There is this really talented Canadian musician named Cameron Masterson, but he goes by the name Teakwood Gallows.
Okay.
I met him online because he used to write really beautiful, well, I think he still does, but writes really beautiful folk songs about movies.
That's awesome.
And he wrote a song called Sally Bedina, and Sally Bedina is the character from Blowout.
Oh,
And he wrote
okay.
a ballad for her.
I
And
love
I reached
that.
out to him and told him how much I loved it. And to the point where when I made my film From the Darkness Theater, I asked him to write an end credit song for me, and he did it
That's so
based on the
awesome.
script. But then he also did it for the film I made for Milwaukee Film, Love You Still.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
so he made this really beautiful song for the credits, and Peter actually based the score off of his music.
Hmm.
And so it's like I kind of got to do that, even though it was only one song.
That's still
I got
that's
to do
still
it. Yeah,
yeah, at its core, that's the process. That's the whole thing.
yeah,
That's so awesome. I love that. Yeah, it's like special. It's like a good way to intertwine the visual and the audio, and it's really special because I mean, I love a needle drop in a film regardless. Like I don't
yes,
like, it doesn't need to be original for the film, but like there is something special about that. And Xanadu is one.
yes, yep.
Now I'm just thinking of more. But
Do you have one thing I was trying to look up when in the little bit of research I was able to do for this film?
yeah,
I wanted to do more, but I only had so much time. Do you know why Cat Stevens?
I actually have no idea. That's such a good question. No.
Besides the fact that Cat Stevens rocks,
He
but
just rocks.
yeah,
No. But I can't imagine anything else.
yeah. Like I had read that Colin Higgins apparently wrote the part of Harold. Like, in his mind, he saw Elton John. Like,
Oh.
if you think who Elton John was in the 60s versus, like, the super flamboyant, like, so, like, I'm trying to think, it was like, how would this movie work if it was Elton John's music? And I'm a diehard Elton John fan. I bawled my eyes out when I got to see him in concert. It wouldn't
Oh,
be the
wow.
same. It wouldn't be the same.
No, the thought has never even occurred to me because like of why it ended up being Cat Stevens, because I just can't even imagine it being anything else. So and it's in the film, like she plays the piano in the film.
Yeah, so they
Like,
had to have
it's
had it planned.
diegetic and non-diegetic. So yeah,
Film school
that film
terms.
school came out. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna do some more research after this.
All right. And so you mentioned that the film didn't do very well upon release, and you started to talk a little bit about that. Let's talk a little more about that. You said the film didn't do well. Do you have any idea why?
Well, again, I think it's like a hard sell. I think I think trailers in general, like, I don't know how well.
Trailers used to be pretty boring too.
Trailers were horrible. They were so boring, and the trailer for this film literally, like, basically just tells you everything that happens in the film, which is just not a very enticing. Like, if you just
No.
heard what happens in the film, like Harold goes to funerals, Maude loves living, like, it's just not very dynamic sounding. So I'm not shocked that people
Harold
didn't
is
see it.
obsessed with funerals.
Right. Yeah, like, I think that's what it says in the trailer. And it's it's just a hard sell. Like, I've tried to tell people to watch it multiple times, and they'll be like, "What's it about?" And I'm like, "I can't. I don't think that that's how you should go into it." Like,
Yeah.
I'll be like, "It's got the Cat Stevens soundtrack, and it's like moving." And like special is how I sell people on it. So it's just, I think it's a hard sell. And I don't know what else was coming out at the same time, but I'm sure that something crazy came out and probably stomped all over it.
Let's see, this was 1971.
Yeah.
Let's see what. So, number one movie in 1971 in America was Fiddler on the Roof, which is
Okay. Also
rad.
rocks.
Number two is Billy Jack.
Never seen it.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Is it a
Independent.
Western?
Not kind of.
I do not do well with Western.
This is a contemporary. It is a movie about a Native American named Billy Jack who who uses I guess kind of martial arts to free up Native American land.
Okay, actually, that sounds awesome.
Uh,
Okay,
it's-
fine, I'll check it out.
He all of his films were like activist films that he made into action films. He's from Tom Lawlin, who wrote and directed it. He's from Milwaukee. Worth mentioning, independent film was an independent film, and it was the number 2 movie in America. So
That rocks.
French Connection,
Okay, yeah.
Summer of 42, which I've not seen.
Me neither.
Diamonds Are Forever, so a James Bond film.
Oh, yeah.
Dirty Harry,
Mhm.
Clockwork Orange, Carnal Knowledge, The Last Picture Show. That's impressive. And Sweetback's Badass Song. So it had a lot of competition that year.
I've never heard of that last one.
Oh, that is
here we
an
go.
experimental blaxploitation film.
Okay, awesome. No, I'm looking all of these up. I'm on the same list as you now, so I'm like, maybe I need to start watching all these other 1971 films and see the competition. I've not seen the James Bond one you mentioned.
So I'm also wondering too if the romance element was a hard sell for people, because like I said, for myself, I thought Harold was a child.
Yeah. And for all intents and purposes, like, his prefrontal cortex has not fully
No,
developed.
and like compared to 80, he is a child.
Yeah.
But so I was thinking about this because a movie that came out within the last couple years by a person very clearly inspired by Hal Ashby, Paul Thomas Anderson. He did Licorice Pizza very recently, which also dealt with the concept of an age gap relationship. Not nearly as extreme.
No.
And I've been wondering why want like I ultimately like Licorice Pizza, but
I do too.
the romance in that film bothered me more than it did in Harold and Maude. And I
Yeah.
was sitting here thinking, it's like, why is that? Because I was also really harsh on Clueless for that same reason.
Oh, interesting. Clueless for me, I'm more like because he's her stepbrother.
Yeah, exactly. That's also a problem. But I
Yeah.
was like, why does it not bother me as much as Harold and Maude? And and the two things
And there's no good answer, I don't think.
no, but the answers I've come up with is
Yeah.
one, Harold is at least an adult.
Oh, yeah, well, yes, I guess you're right. Licorice Pizza, one of the
He is
parties is
he is
not
like
an adult.
16 years old.
Yeah.
And then in
Same
the
with
end,
Clueless.
yeah, and in Harold and Maude, like you
Mhm.
said, he's an adult. There's still an inappropriate relationship, even though consent can be given. But like,
Yeah, if it was my friend, I'd be like, "This is a predator.
yeah,
You should not be."
but
But she's not coming off as predatory.
no, then that was one of the things my takeaway from it is Maud never felt like she was pursuing Harold. It's just kind of something that developed over time. And it
Yeah.
also never felt like she needed anything from Harold.
No.
Like
Yeah.
like Alana's character in Licorice Pizza, I kept my only note about that film was it shouldn't have ended with them getting together. It should have ended with Alana realizing I can't do this. I need to get my life together and leave and walking away from him.
Yeah. Well,
And
there's a
which is
world in
kind
which
of what Harold and Maude, like not exactly, but Harold and Maude is like I'm living my life regardless of what you're doing, or I guess
that
not living her
lesson
life.
is like thrust upon him. He
Yeah.
doesn't come to it on his own. She kind of once it takes the romantic turn, and then she later, well, because okay, the one of the most moving lines or interactions in the film is when Maud is dying or like being taken to the hospital and Harold is like in denial and he's like, "But Maud, I love you." And she's like, "Oh, Harold, that's wonderful. Now go and love some more." And it's
Yeah.
like she teaches him like I don't think that Harold was capable of love, or at least he wasn't going to let himself believe he was capable of love before he loved Maud. So like, yes, is it a little icky? Probably.
Mhm.
Yes, but like if ever all both were consenting adults and they both benefited from it in their own ways and like they I don't think that there was a predatory nature. Like I don't think there was really like because it would be one thing too if like I'm rewatching Pretty Little Liars right now, the show. And
I've heard that show can get kind of scandalous.
well, she's dating her English teacher.
Ooh, that is scandalous.
And that is scandalous. And it's like the dynamic because it's like there's an authority inherent in like if you're someone's teacher or if you meet in a scenario where there is like an imbalance in power, but like the power is pretty balanced in Harold and Maude. They meet on very similar playing field. They both meet at an event that they are both there for the same reason for, or like which is that they don't know the deceased in question. And I think
neither of them are also hounding each other. Like it never feels like this was an intention. Like in Licorice Pizza, and once again, I like that movie, but in Licorice
Yeah.
Pizza, Cooper Hoffman's character is pursuing her from the very first
Right.
image, and it just kind of feels like the Harold and Maude. One of my favorite scenes is when they're at the carnival, and I don't remember what Harold gives Maude. Like a little trinket that she ends up throwing in the ocean.
Oh, yes.
But he, I'm trying to remember exactly how it plays out, but essentially he says, it says Harold loves Maude,
Mhm.
and then and she says Maude loves Harold, and it's like the first time they both say it, and it almost feels like it's a realization.
Yeah.
It's like
They've crossed that.
yeah, it's like, oh, this is how I feel.
Mhm.
like I said, I want to stress that there's still problematic elements to this, but it didn't bother me the way that other films do, and I think it's also just about intention.
Yeah. And they don't end up together. I mean,
No,
it's not, yeah. I don't know. I don't feel that there was a grooming that occurred.
no. Like you could still make the argument that there's that there is, but that doesn't feel like what's going on.
Yeah. But I remember when I was in high school, there was like a rumor going around, and I don't know how much weight there was to this rumor, but I was really pissed about it, that they were going to remake the film with Justin Bieber and Betty White. And
That's
people
terrible.
online were,
That's
no, I know.
terrible.
And I really think that this was just someone said this online, and I was like, what? At like 15 or 14, being like, this has to be true. I read it online. And I remember, but there was already like age gap discourse online, and I'm just like, I wish I could have been there in 1971 for the handful of people who actually saw it when this came out, to see what the discourse about that element was. Or I don't know, because like I do think it's like the film offers a lot more intellectually than that.
It's also interesting too, because like while I wasn't around in 1971, things were just societal, like just different as a society, and I have a feeling that it was less a age gap discourse and more of a, wouldn't it be weird if an old lady dated a teenager?
For sure. And like, but even there's a point when he tells his mother that he's engaged or whatever, getting married, and she's like, to who? And he pulls out a picture of her, and she sees that she's an old lady, and like the mom is clearly not thrilled.
No. But not nearly as upset as I feel like she could be.
Yeah. For sure. Because I'd be sad. I think I'd be, but I'm not like the mother portrayed by Vivian Pickles, which is a great name.
The best name. Vivian Pickles.
I wish that was my name.
Vivian Pickles and Cyril Cusack are two names in this fucking movie. Beautiful.
It's great. This is a stacked cast when you've got Vivian Pickles in the cast.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, I don't really have an answer to it, but it just kind of goes to show that like there's no rhyme or reason for why you feel one way about one movie and another way about another. Like we are, as human beings, we contradict ourselves all the time, and sometimes it's just a feeling, and it's that's why whenever it happens that a film critic gives a movie a bad review, I don't take it personally, because it's just how they felt on that day. For example, a film critic that I have a lot of respect for, who I don't always agree with. Actually, a lot of times I do not, but I feel like he does a fantastic job at explaining his rationale. Roger Ebert didn't like this movie. He gave it a star and a half.
A lot.
Yeah, but I think
I'm not shocked.
Yeah, he's a very good writer. But at the same time, he will give I'll sometimes look at his reviews, and he will give movies that absolutely shock me good reviews. He loved The Mummy with Brendan Fraser, which shocks me. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's just like it's not a movie I expect Roger Ebert to love. For
sure, no. He was inconsistent or something. You could never predict how he would react to a film, for sure.
He's also the first to admit when he rewatched something and felt differently. And that happens. So, I kind of lost the point that I was trying to make here. But I really liked this movie. I found myself really enjoying it, having a great time. Like I said, I would check eBay to see if I can find that Criterion, and then I get frustrated that it was so expensive, and I'd throw my phone, and then I'd go check again to see if I could find it, and it was still expensive, and I was like, why did it not change? And I threw my phone again. And
I bet they'll come out with a 4K of it at some point.
Like I said, Paramount Presents did a version of it, and it's better than nothing. But I'm a Criterion fanboy. So.
No, me too, of course. You'll
Um,
get your hands on it for
one
sure.
day I know I will, but I really liked this film. I think it has the right amount of gallows humor along with just things that made me feel good. Like it's
Yeah.
I made a comparison to Juno earlier, and that's kind of the same way I felt when I saw in high school when I saw Juno. It's like, oh, it's just these quirky characters, just outlandish images, and
Great dialogue. I
great
think Diablo
dialogue.
Cody probably definitely was influenced by the screenwriting of Colin Higgins. I could see that for sure.
Oh, absolutely, and I also love that this movie made AFI's top list for funniest comedies of all time, and it's like I don't even think of it like a, slap your knee type comedy, but it still works for people,
Yeah.
and I love that.
It's so strange. It's in a genre of its own for sure. Because it has a little bit of everything, and it gets better every time I watch it.
Yeah, and then one last thing I want to talk about before we start winding down is we've talked about her a little bit here and there, but Ruth Gordon, I can't stress how good she is in this film.
She is amazing. It's like that's why it was so shocking to me when I finally did see Rosemary's Baby, because I just was like,
Well, especially because first half of Rosemary's Baby, she's giving Maude.
yes. So I was
Especially
like,
with
oh my
that
gosh, it's
voice
Maude.
and-
She's back.
Yeah, she just comes off as like the very nice, but albeit a little annoying neighbor.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
she's definitely a little
nosy.
yeah, she's definitely a little more annoying in Rosemary's Baby.
I need to see more of her work because I'm trying to think what else I've seen her in. And there's definitely some like scattered random stuff, but
I got a recommendation for you. It was a movie that I don't know if it holds up, but I loved it as a kid. Every Which Way But Loose is a movie starring Clint Eastwood, but it is a comedy where Clint Eastwood plays a bare knuckle brawler and his best friend is an orangutan.
sold. I'm in.
And then they made a sequel, Every Which Way You Can.
Is she in that one too?
Yes, she is.
Oh my god. Okay, adding to my watch list as we speak.
So I recommend both of those. I don't know if they're very good, but I loved them as a child.
Great.
She's also in this really wild movie that if you can still get it from a company called Vinegar Syndrome, I highly recommend you blind buying it right now.
Okay.
It's called Voyage of the Rock Aliens. It is like a rock opera musical about aliens, and Ruth Gordon plays the sheriff.
Truly sounds tailor-made for me. That sounds amazing.
If you can't find a copy of it, let me know. I will bring it to the film festival so you can borrow my copy because you need to see Voyage of the Rock Aliens.
No, I'm going to. Don't worry. We'll be in touch. We'll talk about it. Oh yeah, here it is. I found it. Okay, adding to my watch list. That sounds amazing.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Was there anything else you wanted to talk about before we wrap up and get to our Thrill House moments?
Oh, I forgot about this part.
I should have reminded you. If you don't have one,
no, that's
fine.
okay. No, nothing. But I want to hear yours first.
So, for Thrill House moments, part of me wants to say it was the opening sequence because, like, he puts on the Cat Stevens song. You don't know what's happening. He's walking through this room, and then it ends with him hanging himself. Yeah. And it's almost a shock. It is a shock because, like, I didn't know where this movie was going. I didn't know who the character was. But then his mom walks in and is just completely just like, oh, Harold. And I'm like, oh, no, now it's giving Heathers.
I think she says, do try and be a little bit more vivacious.
Yeah, and then he, like, looks up, and I was like, oh, I get what this movie's doing now. And I was like, at that point, whatever this movie wants to do. But if I had to just pick a favorite sequence, favorite scene, besides the uncle who has the fucking arm that's rigged up to salute,
yeah.
him performing like the seppuku, but then having the actor like date of his get really into it and start performing Romeo and Juliet, and like this scene,
yeah, she's an actress.
I was almost thinking, it's like, man, I hope Harold calls her back at some point because
Yeah.
she's perfect for him.
No, she gets it.
She
She
gets
gets
it.
it. No, that's a great one.
Yeah,
I
we
think
didn't get a
my
chance to talk about that scene, so I had to bring it up.
No, I'm glad you did. There's so much. They pack a lot in this 90 minutes. Um, yeah, I think my Thrill House moment is probably when they're like sitting in the field of flowers and Maude is like talking about if she were a flower, she'd be a sunflower. And then Harold's like, "Oh, I don't know. I would be like one of those because they're all the same." And she talks about how they're not all the same. Like from afar, they all look the same, but if you get up close, there's little differences in each of the flowers. I just love that moment. It looks beautiful. Like these two
Mm-hmm.
figures sitting in this field of all these like seemingly identical white flowers. It's a very
Poignant.
moment. And yeah. But I also like when Harold's mom is filling out the like internet dating
Yes.
questionnaire and she's definitely starts just filling it out for herself
Yep.
instead of Harold, and she's like, "Well, of course, we definitely agree with this."
I know that
Um,
that made me laugh. Her
yeah.
performance reminded me so much of the aunt in Sleepaway Camp.
Oh, totally. Huh.
One other little like visual moment that I really liked, and it was also kind of the moment that made me realize I have to go see more of Hal Ashby's films, was when they were at I think it was the military cemetery, and they're there, and the camera pulls out to review more and more of the graves, and they
Mhm.
become smaller and smaller, and I just kept thinking, I was like, oh, let me put on my filmmaker hat. Why would I put this shot in there other than the fact that it looks cool? I was like, oh, they're probably trying to show, Harold's so obsessed with death, almost trying to give his life meaning via death, but then once you're gone, you're just blending in with everything else. You can make more of an impact alive. Because even though they kept getting smaller and smaller in the frame, they stood out amongst all the monotony around them.
Yeah.
And I was
Existential.
I was like, okay, I see you, Hal Ashby. I got to see more of your shit.
Yeah. You should watch Shampoo. It's a lot of fun. Less existential, I will say.
I'm down because it's got Warren Beatty, and I love that dude.
Yeah, it's a great cast.
And
Also
Goldie
Goldie
Hawn.
Hawn. Yeah, for sure.
Goldie Hawn from that time period. Let's see, when was that movie made? That was made in 1975.
79?
So
Oh no.
about 6 years prior, she was in a movie that I'm absolutely obsessed with called Cactus Flower,
Mm.
directed by Gene Saks,
Okay.
who is big in theater and film. He did the movie Biloxi Blues. He also did the film adaptation of Barefoot in the Park.
Oh.
This is a movie with Walter Matthau where he plays a dentist who's trying to find himself a young wife, and he's dating Goldie Hawn, but he realizes throughout the movie that he's actually in love with his assistant Ingrid Bergman, and it's hysterical.
Sounds great. I'm
Yes.
in. I like films about dentists. Little Shop of Horrors. I guess that's not about a dentist, but I love dentists in film.
You could see Dr. Giggles. That's a slasher film with a dentist.
Okay, that sounds amazing. Dr. Giggles is
Dr.
crazy.
Giggles.
Great. I'm adding so much to my watch list today.
I'm glad I could be of some assistance. Also worth mentioning, Cactus Flower is Goldie Hawn won Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars for it. So
Dang. Okay.
for a screwball comedy.
We'll watch. We'll
So,
definitely watch.
Any other scenes you want to mention before I have you promote yourself?
No. Just
right.
if you haven't seen it, or if you have, go watch Harold and Maude.
And
It's
if someone wants to send me a copy of the Criterion Collection, I will the copy from the Criterion Collection. I will not say no. But that being said, if someone could send me any movie from the Criterion Collection, and I won't be sad about it. You could send me fucking Salo, 120 Days in Sodom, and I'd probably be like, okay, sure, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for the movie.
Yeah. But where can people find you?
At the Milwaukee Film Festival. But yeah, if you want to follow me on stuff, I think my username on Instagram is Robyn Erhlich-Mai. Letterboxd, I'm Rob Lobster B52.
Rob Lobster.
Yeah, and yeah, just check out the Milwaukee Film Festival lineup. There's truly something for everyone. We say like ages 3 to 103, but if you're over 103, I bet you'd still like something at the festival too. But yeah, the lineup is so expansive this year. It's truly like if you can't find one film in the lineup this year that you're interested in, you might just not like movies. So
Absolutely. Like I've said it before, I'm so excited for this lineup. There's so many good things. Check out Hokum. Check out
Yes.
We Are Fugazi.
Yeah.
Or even check out Greg Araki's new film, I Want Your Sex.
With Cooper Hoffman from Liggers Pizza.
Exactly. It all comes back to Cooper Hoffman.
It always does.
Yep. All right. At this point, everyone should know where to find me. I am on Letterboxd at Viers 10 2008. I'm on Instagram at Shameless Picture Show, and also my name, Michael_Viers. You can also find me on TikTok, where I talk about aspect ratios more than anyone else on that platform. Though I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on it because it's just becoming insufferable. But I post all the videos on Instagram, so follow me there. That's where I'd prefer for you to follow me. If you guys like what we're doing, make sure you check out our Patreon. We're gonna have a special bonus episode coming out this month that I'm gonna announce here. My beautiful and talented wife and I, we were doing a Patreon exclusive show called Cage is the Rage. We don't have a lot of Patreon subscribers, and I'm not saying that in like a negative way or whatever, but like we realized no one was listening to these. So it was like we decided we're gonna remove the paywall and just start releasing them onto the main feed. So we have an episode that we did almost 3 years ago that we're gonna release. It's interesting. It's a very interesting snapshot of where we were at that time. And then we're gonna once a month try to keep up with, Cage is the Rage, which is us walking through Nicolas Cage's entire filmography in chronological order.
In chronological order. Okay.
We broke that a little bit. Our general rule is we're going in chronological order, but if something new comes out that we want to see and we watch it, we will talk about it, knowing that eventually we're just going to go back to it. But yes, we're going in chronological order. Next up, the one that we just did, we discussed the Cotton Club.
Okay.
As well as a movie called Birdie. Early on in his career.
My dad loves Birdie.
Birdie is really fucking good.
I've never seen it, and he tells me like every time we talk to watch Birdie.
You should watch Birdie. Matthew Modine's also in it.
I've heard all of this.
Oh, and then the one we're gonna be recording is Nicolas Cage in The Boy in Blue, which is a movie where he's a professional rower, like rowboating. He's fucking jacked in that movie.
His filmography is incredible. Well, I'll give it all a listen. I'm excited.
Perfect. Well, at this point, thank you everyone for listening to the show. Make sure you come back next time. Shame place. Shameless Picture Show.
The Shameless Picture Show is a proud member of Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network. The show is recorded in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and is hosted and produced by Michael Viers. The show was created by Nicholas Richards and Michael Viers, and the show is edited by Austin Proctor of the Frightmares podcast. Amanda Viers is the show's graphic designer and a big help behind the scenes. Our theme music was written specifically for us by Austin Proctor, with narration by yours truly, Nick Richards. The end credit music you're currently enjoying was generously provided to us by the band 10 Speed. An extra special thank you to all of our Patreon supporters and our generous sponsors. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, and iHeartRadio. For more information, be sure to check out someone'sfavoriteproductions.com.
Thank you for listening. To hear more shows from the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, please select the link in the description